Screaming like the start of a race. Diet Pepsi's my fuel in this Monday maze. Shake the weekend fog off my tired face. The hustling begins, no time to waste. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The crowd won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. And sun clouds up higher, chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The crowd won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Street lights fading, sun climbs up higher, chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The crowd won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I feel the glow. It's my time now, I own the show. Know that we can be heavy, but I'm tougher still. Climbing the mountain, fueled by will. Each heartbeat whispers, yes you can. I'm golden, helping every woman and man. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The crowd won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show.
Hey everybody, it is Monday, which means it is Monday motivation. And today was a work from home day, so I didn't have to worry about makeup and hair and all that. So I just threw it up in a ponytail, threw a hat on, and call it done for the day. So I was not home because of the holiday. I think today is Columbus Day. And so the banks and post office are closed, but our office was still open. But my boss is actually in Branson. That's where he's at. It's in Branson at Silver Dollar City. I can even talk now. But that is where he's at, so therefore I get to work at home. So if you are brand new to my channel, you do not know who I am. I am Pamela, aka Scooterrenee. I do Monday motivations almost nearly every Monday night at 8 p.m. Central. We do different topics and everything. And then I do auctions on my channel, generally Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and other days possibly, and then other channels as well. So you can always find me somewhere around the YouTube. So speaking of YouTube, make sure you do the YouTube things. You subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure you ring that bell for all notifications so you know when I go live or upload new content. And then also a thumbs up on your way in, on your way out. I would just greatly appreciate it no matter when you do it. So welcome in. If you are new, I hope you'll continue to come back to the channel and just see what each week is about. Also, feel free to come over to the auctions as well. All my OGs, I see as you pop in. People will start jumping in here as they get the notification. There's other great things going on the YouTube as well, so people might be bouncing around, and that's quite okay. So, and the playback crew. As always, I love it when my people tell me that they are the playback crew. So if you are the playback crew, you're watching this at a later time, please leave me a comment. Let me know that you're the playback crew, and then feel free to participate in the chat participation questions that we do on Monday nights as well. So let's see who all is in chat and say hello. I know we got just 9 people in here, but we'll go ahead and say hello to those that are still in here. We got Shelly. Hopefully Shelly's still in here. Sorry, chat jumped on me. Hey, Shelly, welcome in. I love your avatar, the little puppy. Oh, he's so cute. He, she, the puppy. It's cute. We got Kathy in here. Hey, Kathy. So good to see you. We got Joanne in here. Hey, Joanne, welcome in. Good to see you as always. We got Tammy, Dream Chaser, in chat. Hey, Tammy, welcome in. And we got Nancy here. Hello, sweet Nancy. Hope you're doing well, my friend. And we got Lisa D. Hey, Lisa D, welcome in. Good to see you. All right. So, I hope, as always, that you guys had a great weekend. This weekend was crazy for me. Friday, I was at the state fair. If y'all saw the short, I asked you what your favorite food was from the fair. A lot of y'all said the funnel cake. So I did get me a funnel cake at the end. Always get one at the end and bring it home and kind of have it as my nighttime snack. Or I either share it with Robert. This week, I actually had it Friday night, and then I didn't have it Saturday night, and then I had it Sunday night. So it lasted a couple of nights, so that was, I like it when I can make things spread out. Let's see, if I went to the state fair, I had the roll-up ice cream. I don't know if any of y'all tried the roll-up ice cream, but they take this liquid, kind of like a, the milk, almost like the beginning of a milkshake with it's milkshake liquidy type substance, I guess. Lay it on this really cold metal thing, and they just keep spreading it around. And then I had the s'mores, so they took a graham cracker and put a marshmallow on top and did the torch on it. So I had that real smoky flavor to it. It was really good. But they spread it out, and then they just take the thing and they just roll it up, and then they serve it to you in that way. So you got like 3 or 4 rolls in the cup. But anyways, I had that. That was a new experience. I've never had that before, so that was really good. I recommend it if you have a fair coming to you, or if you have, I know there's some restaurants like that now where they serve ice cream like that. So if you have never tried it, I highly recommend it. And then what else did I have? I had a hamburger that was okay. Then I had, deep fried pecan pie. It was not worth the hype whatsoever. It was missing the whipped cream or the ice cream. It just was not good, in my opinion. Didn't have enough pecans in it. I love the filling, don't get me wrong, but I love the pecan, the crunch and everything. It was okay. So I guess it was worth it for a one-time try. So, but yeah, that was Friday. Saturday, I worked at the flea market from 9 to 6, and then Sunday we were there from 10 to 6. And we were slammed Saturday, a little bit slower on Sunday, but Saturday we were slammed. So a busy but fun, productive weekend as always. So make sure I'm not missing anybody. I did say hello to Nancy. Okay. Tonight's topic is going to be on accountability partners. So we'll learn what this involves. When is it good to have an accountability partner? And why you should even have one to begin with, and what does that involve, and so forth. So that's what tonight is going to be all about. Hey, Jimmy Mac, when are you coming back? Welcome in, buddy. All right, here we go, guys. Positive spot thought. Accountability greatly increases your chances of doing what you say you're going to do. An accountability partner is not someone who will hold you accountable, but rather someone who will witness your accountability to yourself. So chat participation time right out of the starting gate. If you're new to my channel, we do chat participation time. And when I say that, that's your cue, your note, whatever you want to call it, that I'm about to ask you a question or have you make a statement. And when I do that, all you do is answer the question or make the statement. You get a star by your name. And when you get a star, you get entered into a monthly drawing that I do on the first Monday of every month. So you get entered into that drawing. And then also, if you watch my shorts, I do hashtag in my shorts, and if you participate in that, you also get entered into that drawing, and that drawing is also held on the first Monday of each month. So a couple of ways to get into a couple of drawings that I think are fun and easy to do. So chat participation time. Who in chat, I was just curious, who in chat has ever had an accountability partner? Like someone who was truly devoted to keeping you accountable. or who has been an accountability partner to someone before. And I would think accountability partners could be trainers as well, could be coaches, like a life coach, or someone that was strictly what you call the accountability partner. Who here in chat has ever had one, or have you ever been one to someone? I was just curious if anybody. Lisa D, you do? Am? And again, that could be friends, it could be family, it could be people you don't even know, whatever. So I was just curious to see if anyone. Nancy said, no, ma'am, I don't have one. Joanne says she's had one. And I also think of things like any of us, especially us women, have been a part of any weight loss program, like Weight Watchers is the one that comes to mind, where you go to the meeting each week and you have to pay each week, so it holds you accountable, Oh, I love it. Jimmy said I was Virgil's accountability partner. Hey, Selena. Welcome in. Kathy said, I was one to someone years ago. I think I may have had one decades ago, but not sure. So the question was, because I don't think Tammy heard or was paying attention. Tammy, we all know that doesn't work. That doesn't work with you. Lisa D says, my doctor, we support each other walk before our appointment. See, there you go. Awesome. You're fine, Selena. No worries. I know you got Remy. So the question was, Selena, have you ever had an accountability partner, or have you been an accountability partner to someone else? Yeah, I've done that too, Joanne. The Weight Watchers, it was worth it. $10 a week. I would think, Kathy, that you could also have like an accountability partner in Bible study, someone that's going to make sure that you're showing up to Bible study, making sure you do your homework throughout the week, whatever. So I would think you could probably have someone considering that role as well. Awesome. Well, let's dive in and see how an accountability partner can change everything for you if you decide to get one. Not everybody wants an accountability partner, and that's A-okay. But some of us that think we need one, just someone to kind of, not really necessarily hold our hand, but someone to encourage us along the way. All right, Tammy. All right. So it is said that after bravely serving as a pilot in World War II, Roger Fisher took a big step in his journey by enrolling at a Harvard Law School. And over the next 34 years, he dedicated himself to the fascinating fields of negotiation and conflict resolution. And through his efforts, he established the Harvard Negotiation Project and collaborated with various nations and influential leaders to tackle critical issues like peace agreements, hostage situations, and diplomatic settlements. Whatever. Oh, Selena. Selena said, I don't think anyone wants me as accountability partner, but I'm taking applications. Joanne said, I did good in Weight Watchers. Lost 100 pounds and became an instructor. Wish I would have kept it off. Right? Yes. Yes, I agree with that one. I just felt so encouraged when I went, even if I hadn't lost anything, just hearing the instructors, share stories and things like that. So, but back to Roger Fisher, I believe is his name, right? Not what I said? Yes, that's what I said. It was during the tense 1970s, 1980s. I was like, really? That was then? When the fear of the nuclear war was looming large, and it was then that Fisher came up with one of his most intriguing concepts. During that time, Fisher was deeply involved in developing strategies to avert nuclear war. He came across a disheartening reality, however. Any sitting president holds the power to unleash devastating launch codes capable of claiming millions of lives. Yet they remain shielded from the immediate consequence when they consider hitting that button, obviously. Never witnessing the devastation that would unfold, and all while, being thousands of miles away. In 1981, Fisher proposed an idea that was quite straightforward, if you will. He said, imagine placing the nuclear code inside a small capsule, then having that capsule implanted right next to the heart of a volunteer. This volunteer would carry a hefty butcher knife. This is just now making sense to me, so I'm sorry. Would carry a hefty butcher knife while to the president's side. If ever the president decided to initiate a nuclear strike, he'd have to first confront the reality of taking life, one innocent life, the volunteer. And he would have to turn to that individual and say, I'm really sorry, but millions must die. He would have to say that. In that moment, he would have to look someone in the eyes, the president, and grasp what death truly meant, what it means to lose innocence. Just envision, the blood staining the White House carpet is a stark reminder of the harsh realities that we face. Fisher said that when he brought this up to some friends at the Pentagon, their reaction was immediate. Wow, that just sounds awful. Why in the world would you ever do that? The thought of having to take a life really could cloud the president's thinking. He might hesitate to take any action at all. So, yeah, you will, Selena. Hold on, my throat's getting dry. So during our chat about the fourth law of behavior change that we've been discussing, we've really been highlighting how crucial it is to find ways to make our goals, our good habits, feel immediately rewarding. We want them to be satisfying. But yet, Fisher offers a clever twist on this idea. Instead of seeking that instant satisfaction, he suggests we focus on making bad habits feel immediately undesirable. It's a fascinating shift in the perspective of this. We tend to want to revisit experiences that leave us feeling good, while we instinctively steer clear of those that end in discomfort. Pain, in fact, has a powerful way of teaching us lessons. When we face a painful setback, we're motivated to make changes. So, on the other hand, if something doesn't sting too much, we tend to just brush it off. It didn't make an impact at all, and therefore we don't see why there should be a change that we need to make. The quicker the mistake and steeper the cost of that mistake, the more likely we are to learn from it right away. So let's do another chat participation time. When you make a mistake, are you a fast learner of making that mistake, or does it take you a few times before you stop making that mistake? Are you quick to fix that mistake and you learn from it and move forward, or do you kind of take, you got to beat your head a couple of times against the wall and then you're like, oh, duh, I'm not supposed to do that anymore? So I guess, are you a quick learner or not? I think for me, it's going to depend on what the situation is. I feel like if there's not enough of a sting there, then I say that. Typically, if there's not enough of a sting there, I won't do it. I might do it again. But if there's a sting there, then I'm more not out to do it, probably. Kathy says, fix and learn. Tammy says, I try to fix a mistake, but I also remember I live in my world. Oh, it just makes me giggle. Tia Nana's, hello, welcome in. Says, sometimes a fast learner, but if it's like a mistake with a relationship, be it friendship, etc., I'm a slow learner because I give the benefit of the doubt, right? How many of us can relate to that? Yes. Joanne says, not a quick learner. Selena said, it depends on which side of me is being the dumb butt, right? I like this. Lisa says, more so as the older I get, right? I think we tend to slow down and we're like, okay, what can we need to learn this, and yeah. Which, not with. So just think about it. This is where I'm going with it. A plumber knows that he needs to be on point when he does his job to avoid any bad reviews, right? Restaurants, they pour their hearts, hopefully, into creating delicious meals because they don't want customers to stay away. They want customers to come back, right? And a surgeon, think about a surgeon. Well, there are stakes that are incredibly high with a surgeon, so they have to be, ensure that they truly have mastered the anatomy to avoid critical errors. Hey, Kraken, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. Hello. So when the consequences are serious, like a surgeon, if he goes into surgery and he nicks the wrong vein or cuts in the wrong area, you're going to learn fast. Oops, that wasn't the right thing to do, right? So when the consequences are serious, we learn fast. Kathy said, I wasn't thinking about relationships, so that would be I think that would be almost all of us. I can think of a couple of people where they nope, cut off, done. You make one mistake, we're done, over. You're dead to me, basically. No, you're fine, Kathy. That question could go either way. It could go both ways, whichever. So when the pain feels immediate is what we're talking about. When the pain feels immediate, people are less likely to engage in certain behaviors. If you're looking to break those pesky bad habits that you have and steer clear of unhealthy choices, try introducing some quick consequences for doing those actions. The trick here, it can do wonders if you have some built-in consequences for doing something. It lowers the chances of slip-ups, if you will. We tend to cling to our bad habits because they offer us some sort of benefit. We get some sort of payoff when we continue those bad habits. And that is what makes it challenging to let those bad habits go. Right, Selena, yes. I don't know why my throat is so dry tonight. One effective strategy that you could use to tackle this issue, if you are up for the challenge and everything, is to speed up the consequences of those habits. It's essential that there's no delay between what we do and what comes next. By closing that gap, we can make sure we can make those habits less appealing and encourage positive change. The moment that we face a quick consequence, our action starts to shift. Hey, Karen, welcome in, Brown Sugar. Good to see you. Oh, I'm getting click happy here. So, for instance, a customer, they tend to pay their bills promptly when a late fee is at stake. Oh, if I know I got a late fee coming out, I'm going to make sure that bill's paid on time because I want to pay more than I have to, right? Likewise, students who go to school and attend class, they attend class because they know their grade's going to depend on it. It's funny how we tend to go to great lengths just to dodge a little immediate discomfort. It's important to acknowledge that there is a limit to how effective punishment can be for changing behavior. If you're counting on penalties to encourage better choices, they need to be strong enough to truly make an impact. For instance, to inspire action, the downsides of procrastination should outweigh the benefits of putting things off. Similarly, if you want to promote a healthy lifestyle, the consequences of being lazy should be more daunting than the effort it takes to exercise. Imagine if you got a fine or a fee, whatever, for smoking in a restaurant or not recycling. These penalties would create a sense of accountability for the actions that we did. It's getting better, Nana. When I go out and about, I try to make sure I wear it. If I'm around here at home, I will take it off. And so, but Robert and I went out to eat, and so I had it on, just haven't taken it off. But it's getting better. It's getting a lot better. Thank you for asking. So, ultimately, the behavior only shifts when the consequences are significant enough and consistently enforced. Basically, when the results of our actions are close to home, as we all know, when something hits too close to home and it's easy to see, we're much more likely to change our behavior. On the flip side, however, if the outcome feels distant, unclear, or it takes a while to materialize, we tend to pay them less mind. It's out of sight, out of mind. If there's not any type of punishment immediately, well, then it's not going to make as much of an impact for us to change whatever it is that we're doing. Unfortunately, there's a simple solution to put a little pressure on those pesky bad habits. Just whip up a habit contract. Now, this habit contract is an effective way to hold yourself accountable while adding a bit of immediate consequence. And I know if you decide to do this, you've got it. You can do this. So we're going to go over what a habit contract is and why to use one. No, I know, Selena. Chat participation time. Here we go. This is an easy one. Who all in here wears a seatbelt? Who all in here wears a seatbelt? I do. I got hit by a school bus head on. The wheel came up on my hood on the front end of my car. I say head on. They were making a turn. I was going to go right. They were going left. And they cut the corner too sharp. And the back wheel of the school bus came up onto my hood of my car and went off right before it hit the windshield. And it hit so hard, or I guess weighed so much, whatever, that it left a hole in the asphalt. So ever since then, I was convinced I always got to wear my seatbelt. And that's when I was just in high school. My stepdad had just bought me this car. It was a brand new car, 1992. So that's when the wreck was. And, I just knew he was going to kill me. And he's like, if it had been your fault, or if it had been your fault, I would have killed you, is what he said. Kathy says, me. Joanne says, I do. Karen says, me. Nana said, I do every time. I believe that was for the seatbelt. Lisa D says, yes. Right? Talk about an impact, right? It made you realize that you need what a seatbelt can do. Now, don't get me wrong. I had my real bad wreck. Selena says me. Tammy says me. I had my bad wreck in 2019. And that seatbelt, I had bruises all down my chest and then across my belly, because the lap belt part, it doesn't go, it's supposed to go across the top of your thighs, not below your stomach, supposedly. But yeah, that doesn't work for me. So I was bruised all the way across my stomach because of the seatbelt. But thankfully, I had it on. What are they now, Karen? Because I know they used to be $25 if you weren't wearing a seatbelt. What is it now, Karen? I forget Karen can give us that kind of information. Let us know. The chat needs to know. I'm sure it's different for each state. So and I remember this, back on December 1st in 1984, New York made history by becoming the first state to pass a law requiring seatbelts. Back then, only a mere 14% of Americans buckled up regularly. But little did they know that statistic was about to change in a huge way. $50. All right, so it's double now. Right? That's so scary. The ticket doubles if it's a holiday or you are in a work zone. Selena says $50. Okay. I didn't know that it had gone up, but I didn't know how much either. So, but in 5 short years, more than half the country had embraced seatbelt laws. Fast forward to today, and you'll find that nearly every single state, 49 out of 50, requires drivers and passengers to buckle up. But it's not just the rules that have changed. People's behaviors have actually shifted dramatically too. Back to that 92, it was a 92 Mercury Tracer that I had. It had the kind where the seatbelt was forward, the top part seatbelt was forward. And so when you got in the car and shut the door, the seatbelt would come back. So it wouldn't do that if you undid it, because you could undo it. But it just made it that much more obvious. Hey, I need to, buckle the bottom piece as well. So I always have my seatbelt on. Joanne says, I didn't wear them until 1985 when I had my daughter. It still wasn't a law yet, right? Like, I remember laying in the back. Many of y'all can probably relate, those of us that were born in the 70s. I remember, maybe even earlier than that. I don't know. I can only relate to mine. But I remember getting up in the back window, the one that goes across in the back, and there was always enough room between the back seat and that window to lay up there. Like, I remember that being a thing. And I would lay up there all the time when I was little, and then I would, look up the truckers and do my arm like this to get them to do their horn and everything. Like, yeah, you could run all over the car if you wanted to. Like, there was no such thing as a seatbelt law back then. Kraken says the windshield is bigger than the rear view for a reason, because what's in front of you is more important than what's behind you. Yeah, I agree with that. I like it, Kraken. He said that is a saying. The saying is a metaphor for focusing on the future rather than dwelling on the past. Yes. Love it. Yes, we had Karen, if you'll remember, because Karen's from right here and where I'm at, and Tammy will remember as well, but the Osbornes used to do the big Christmas lights. And the Osbornes, some of y'all might know, they did the Christmas lights down at Disney World as well. And my stepdad at the time had a blue Volkswagen station wagon. Now, I remember us all piling up in the back, and I think Shelby might have been like 2 or so. And I remember us all piling up and riding in the back of the station wagon. Now, granted, by then it was seatbelt law, I would think. Maybe not law, but it was more known to wear a seatbelt. But we were in the back of that station wagon driving through Osborne's house area and looking at all the lights that they did. Right, Joanne? She said, yes, sitting in front seat between my parents, climbing from the back seat to the front. That was 50s and 60s. I would say 70s and mostly some of the 80s too. Kathy, yes, we went to Mexico and my kids took turns lying on the back window. Yes, I mean, that was like the coolest thing. So, by 2016, there was a whopping 88% of Americans that were making it a point to strap in every time that they hopped into a car. It's incredible to think that in just over 3 decades that the habits of millions have flipped completely when it comes to safety on the road. Laws and regulations are like the rules of a game that help shape our everyday behaviors and creates a shared understanding among us as a community as well. I got you, Kraken. Thank you for sharing that today, by the way, on the short video. You just never know or know what somebody's going through until they share that. And I just really, really appreciated you doing that, Kraken. Tammy said, we rode in my aunt's Chevy station wagon where the seat faced the traffic coming at you. Oh, wow. Right in the back of the truck. Right. I remember recently, up in Conway at New Life, we had a kid that was on the back end of the truck, and the truck hit a bump and he fell off, and they didn't know if he was going to live or die because he had such bad, brain trauma. Lisa D says, I don't remember the car has seat belts when I was a kid in the back seat. A lot of times we ride back of a station wagon or back of a truck, right? Kathy said, we rode in the back of a pickup truck on the interstate to tent, right? And you got more air back there, You weren't stuck in that stuffy old vehicle that you had to roll the windows down manually. You didn't have just to hit the button and the windows came down automatically. I know my brother had I hadn't been telling you. It was a Chevy Impala. And I remember even in that car, this was like in the 90s, I rode with him, and I didn't realize that those cars, I don't remember what year it was, but they only had the lap seat belts. They didn't have the shoulder seat belt. So. I love it, Selena. She said, my mom, Nanny, and my aunt were all up front. Someone ran a stop sign. I screamed, dumb butt, but all three turned around and looked at me with looks to kill. So, when we agreed to follow certain guidelines, like wearing seatbelts, not smoking in restaurants, or recycling, we essentially are signing what they call a social contract. And these collective decisions, they influence how we live our lives. If someone chooses not to follow the crowd, there can be consequences, reminding all of us that we're in this together. We're playing by the same set of rules for the benefit of everyone. Think of how governments use laws to keep citizens in check. Now imagine doing something similar for yourself with a habit contract. This is simply an agreement, whether in writing or as a spoken agreement. I wouldn't recommend spoken agreements, but whatever. You could do either one, writing or a spoken agreement, a handshake type thing, where you promise to stick to a new habit and lay out what happens if you slip up. To make it even more effective, team up with one or two friends as your accountability partners and let them sign your contract. It's a great way to keep each other motivated and on track. There was a guy by the name of Brian Harris. He was a spirited entrepreneur hailing from Nashville, Tennessee. Hey, Tennesseans. And was someone who truly put this approach into practice. Not long after welcoming his son into the world, Brian realized that he wanted to shed a few extra pounds, so he crafted a habit contract that included his wife and his personal trainer. Now, the initial draft said something like this: Brian's primary goal for the first quarter of 2017 is to get back to healthy eating habits so he can feel better, look better, and ultimately achieve his long-term target of weighing 200 pounds with 10% body fat. So just underneath that statement, Harris also sketched out a plan to turn his dreams into reality. In phase one, he would aim to dive back into discipline, the slow carb diet, in the first quarter. Low carb, not slow. What's slow? And then he would move on to phase two. And phase two was that he planned to kick off a meticulous macronutrient tracking initiative in the second quarter. And then finally, phase number three, he would focus on fine-tuning and sticking to the specifics of his diet and workout routines in the third quarter. In the end, he crafted a list of daily habits that would help him reach his goals. For instance, he decided that he would jot down everything that he ate each day and step on the scale daily. This way, he could keep track of his progress and stay motivated on his journey. He then outlined what would happen if he didn't meet his goals. This is where the contract comes in handy. If he didn't meet his goals, if Brian skips 2 tasks, the two tasks that we just named, the weigh-in every day and the tracking of his food, this was the deal that he made, that he would have to dress nicely for work every day, Monday through Saturday, and even every Sunday. And he would have to do that every Sunday, a remainder of the quarter. Dressing nicely meant no jeans, no t-shirts, no hoodies, no shorts allowed. He would have to literally dress up like he was going to work every day. And on top of that, if he forgot to log in his food for even just one day, he would have to hand over $200 to Joey, his trainer, to use however Joey wished to use that money. At the very end of the page, Harris, along with his wife and his trainer, happily put their signatures on the contract, sealing the deal together. Now, at first, you might think that, that type of contract, it feels too formal, kind of unnecessary, especially when it comes to the signatures. But then Harris helps us see things from a different angle. He pointed out that signing the contract was really a sign of commitment. He said whenever he would skip that step of signing a contract and making these promises and everything, that he found himself slacking off almost right away when he didn't follow through with that step of signing it. It shows us that sometimes those little formalities, they can actually keep us on track if we do it. Just 3 months later, having successfully met his goals for the first quarter, Harris decided it was time to raise the stakes. But this time, the penalties for slipping up were a bit more intense, a little bit more painful. If he didn't hit his carb and protein targets, he owed his trainer a cool $100. And if he forgot, now this is where I would love to be in on this, if he forgot to jump on the scale, he would hand over $500 to his wife to spend however she please. Yes, sign me up for that. I will sign that contract. And I will be praying. I'll be hiding that scale so you can't get on there and weigh. But the worst part, if he skipped out on his sprints that he would do, he'd have to suit up for work each day sporting an Alabama hat for the rest of the quarter. Definitely a tough pill to swallow for a diehard Auburn fan. But he would do that every day. And it turns out that plan really paid off, with his wife and trainer cheering him on as his trusty accountability buddies and a clear habit contract laying out his daily tasks. Harris succeeded in shedding those extra pounds. If you want to make those pesky bad habits less appealing, the key is to turn them into something uncomfortable in the moment. One effective approach is to create a habit contract, as we just discussed. This simple tool, it can help you hold yourself accountable. It can steer you clear of those habits that don't serve you well. And make sure it has real consequences. Don't make up some little piddly little things. That it has real consequences that's going to sting a little. Oh, good grief. No. Now, you don't have to go all out with a detailed habit contract to benefit from having an accountability partner. It can be simple. There's a comedian, Margaret Cho, for instance, that she challenged herself to write a joke or a song every single day. She shares this song of the day journey with a friend, and it's a win-win situation for both of them, keeping each other motivated. Just knowing that someone is keeping an eye on your progress can be a huge boost for you. It reduces the chances of procrastinating or giving up, since there is a real consequence to not follow through. That's why you got to make sure that consequence is a true consequence. If you slip up, there is a risk of being seen as unreliable or lazy. So it's just about, and it's not about just breaking promises to yourself. You're also letting down someone who was counting on you as well. Now, you can really make this process a total breeze. Thomas Frank For example, he was a lively entrepreneur from Boulder, Colorado. And every morning he greets the day at 5:55 a.m. Why 5:55? I don't know. But 5:55 a.m. And here's the twist. If he happens to sleep in, if he oversleeps on his alarm doesn't go off, he hits the snooze button, whatever. He has this little sweet little tweet that is lined up to go out automatically at 6:10 a.m. And it says, looks like I'm still snoozing because I'm just too lazy. If you reply to this, I'll send you $5 via PayPal, only the first 5. Just hoping my alarm didn't go haywire. But it's a humorous way to keep himself accountable. And so there's ways that you can do that where it automatically happens. Crap, Scooter put me on the spot. What thing do I need to do? I don't know. We all strive to show our best selves to the world, don't we? I think we all have been there at some time and still go there at times. We style our hair, we brush our teeth, we put on outfits that make us feel good, all in the hopes of sparking a positive response. It's only natural to aim for those high grades when you were in school and graduate from the prestigious schools for some of us, and to impress potential employers and friends and loved ones. We care about how others perceive us. If we want to admit it or not, we do. Somewhere inside of us, we do care about how others see us, how they receive us, perceive us, whatever. It helps foster connections when people like us. That's exactly why teaming up with an accountability partner and or signing a habit contract can be so effective. What, Selena? What, my problem child? When you have that, it's kind of like having a cheerleader, as Selena said earlier. It's like having a cheerleader in your corner supporting you as you aim for your goals. Oh, Kraken said, just be yourself. Everyone else is already taken, right? All right, guys, let's do a quick review. Tonight was a short night. Number 1, we learned that the inversion of the 4th law of behavior change is to make it unsatisfying. We're doing the opposite if there's something that we are trying to stop doing. Number 2, we covered that we are less likely to repeat a bad habit if it's painful or unsatisfying. Number 3, an accountability partner can create an immediate cost to inaction. We care deeply about what others think of us, and we do not want others to have a lesser opinion of us. Number 4, we then covered that a habit contract can be used to add a social cost to any behavior. It makes the cost of violating your promises public and painful. And lastly, number 5, knowing that someone else is watching you can be a powerful motivator. All right, guys, that is it for tonight. I hope there was something that you found that was useful in tonight's topic that you can apply going forward. If you are looking for an accountability partner, please reach out to someone and ask that they would be willing to hold you accountable to whatever it is that you're trying to start doing, whatever it is that you're, if it's a bad habit that you're trying to break, or if it's a good habit that you're trying to start, whatever it may be. Ask a friend, ask a family member, ask somebody if they'd be willing to hold you accountable. You might also consider doing a contract as well to just make it more official and have those consequences. I can also do this as well, as far as, being an accountability partner, a coach and everything. But for myself, because I just have so much going on, I have to charge for my time because my time has become more valuable to me as well. So, if that would be a motivator of itself to do what you're wanting to do, because you want value out of your money and not waste it. So if you are interested in that, just let me know. Send me an email. We can chit chat, go back and forth, and discuss what would work, what wouldn't work, so forth. Let's see. Tomorrow night, I will be on my channel for the live auction, Slightly Unhinged, Sanity Sold Separately at 7:30 p.m. Central. Wednesday night, I will be on my channel for the Midweek Madness Deal live auction at 7:30 p.m. Central. And then Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central, I'll be on my channel with our the guest live auction. So that's what's going on this week. Might be a pop-up. We will see. Next Monday Motivation on episode 142, we're going to be discussing talent, as in the truth about it, and when genes matter as far as habits go and so forth, and when they don't, when it comes to our habits that we want to try to break or set. Come on back if you want to know about what talent has to do with habits. Make sure you do all the YouTube things. You subscribe, you ring that bell, and a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you, Kraken. Make it a great week. If I don't see you somewhere around the YouTube, remember, an accountability partner is not someone who will hold you accountable, but rather someone who will witness your accountability to yourself. Y'all have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you soon. Now let's do this thing. Good night, everybody.